Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say that Judy is a truly exceptional person. She has brightened the lives of really every person in this room, and that's why we've gathered here today to celebrate and support the launch of the Lichtman Fund. And the Lichtman Legacy Fund is going to help bolster the national partnership really into our future. And I think that's appropriate because the national partnership is, I guess as some would say, is sort of like the house that Judy built. It's really a testament to Judy that when we started talking to her about this fund, that she really wanted it to be less about her and more about how do we make sure we can continue to invest into the future. Judy's legacy is sort of hard to describe. The breadth and depth of her career is remarkable. She has literally improved the lives of millions of people and has left an indelible imprint on the women's movement and really every social justice movement during the 70s and the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. And she continues to make that same impact today. She is known for and has used really her brilliant political instincts and legal acumen to advance women's rights and through the legal system and court cases and landmark pieces of legislation. She also has played a tremendous role in elevating so many women to leadership roles, whether it's been in the corporate boardroom, federal benches, or the halls of government. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention another one of Judy's exceptional attributes. She always knows the best gossip. And she knows some really good stories, usually with maybe a hint of profanity, which makes them even better. No person is more plugged in than Judy. And everybody that I know has a Judy story. I know that I certainly have mine. But I think more than anything, what I'd say about Judy is that she knows the importance of building relationships. It's not just about leveraging relationships and reaching out to decision makers and persuading them. And it's certainly not about advancing her own profile or her own sense of importance. But she understands that our ability to make progress depends on our ability to connect with each other and connect with people and make them feel as if we are all in a fight together. That's how she helped to build coalitions. And there's a reason why we are filling a room to celebrate Judy's legacy. Not everybody would get this room, even if you just had 2 or 3 tables, right? And so it means something to when we reached out to people to hear that people were eager to come and celebrate Judy. Last year, when we were approaching Judy's 50th anniversary, we started talking about what we wanted to do to commemorate everything that she had achieved. And so we decided to talk about this idea of a Judith L. Lichtman Legacy Fund at the National Partnership. Now, I will say, I knew she was going to resist it. So we kept it secret. And I talked to some people. I said, don't tell Judy. And we had some ideas. But I also knew that because Judy is who she is, we would not be able to keep it a secret forever. And so eventually we revealed it to it. And, we had to negotiate with her about exactly what this fund would be and what it would do. And so I want to say, a little bit about the fund, and I will first say that when we started telling some of our donors and supporters and allies that we were launching the fund, many people just raised their hand and said, what can we do to support? And really the results have been amazing. We've already raised nearly $1.5 million, so thank you. And I want to thank those people many of those donors are in the room. I want to thank every person who's already given. Today's launch would only be possible because of your energy, your enthusiasm, and your generosity. I want to shout out a special group of folks who comprise what we call our Lichtman Legacy Fund Leadership Circle, who made early and major contributions to get us to that goal. I also wanted to announce that one of the things that we knew we wanted to do with this fund was to support the establishment of the Judith L. Lichtman Fellow, a year-long position, a recent law graduate, to serve as a policy counsel at the National Partnership. And so today, I'm happy to highlight our first ever Judith L. Lichtman Fellow, Delicia Davis. Delicia is a recent graduate of Howard University Law School and is here today. And Delicia is also participating as part of the Georgetown Women's Law and Public Policy program. Jill Morrison is in the house, so thank you. We're excited about having Delicia, and we're excited about having a fellow who is working at the partnership in the spirit of Judy's legacy. And I also want to say that the legacy of Judy goes beyond the creation of a fellowship or one particular person. When I thought about this fund in particular, what I thought about Judy's legacy is her ability to be a bridge builder across many different movements and her deep understanding of the connection between women's rights and civil rights, and at the heart of the work that she has done for so many years, the importance of equity and understanding that you can't talk about gender equity without talking about racial equity, without talking about LGBTQ equity, and that our fates are certainly tied together. And so the spirit of this fund will be to continue to invest in that legacy, which is truly the legacy of the partnership. I hope that many of you in the room will consider giving to the Lichtman Fund. No amount is too big. No amount is too small, and I will say we want it to be additive and complementary to the partnership. And one of the things, and this is why I really do appreciate our donors, is that I said to each of them, and we said to each of them, if this is going to be a substitute for what you give to us, then don't give to it. We don't want you to, sacrifice what you do, rob Sally to pay Sue, or as gender appropriate as opposed to Peter and Paul. But I appreciate people being willing to do that, and if you can, we certainly will welcome your support. You can learn more about the fund. There's a website on the back of your program. There's a QR code at your table. Members of our team are happy to follow up with you. And this is, an unprecedented initiative of ours, but we're excited to do so in Judy's honor. So the last thing I want to say, I'm going off script to say, Judy and I were chatting about this, and Judy mentioned the R word, retirement. And I said, Judy, and I may have shared this story before, I said, well, Judy, back when you stepped down as president, we said you retired, and I remember, one of the functions when Judy became a senior advisor is that she and I started working together a lot more on a lot of issues, and I can't remember the issue, but I said to her at some point, in, I will admit, a moment of exasperation, didn't you retire? And she said, no, I just stepped down as the president. I was like, no, Judy, no. I was there. We threw a big old party. It looked like this. And we said, you were retiring. And she just, chuckled and said, no, I don't think you remember it correctly. And so she tells me that this is different, and so I will say, because Judy is Judy, and Judy defines things in so many different ways, I think she will bring a whole new meaning and vision to the concept of retirement. And I will say that, we are all the better for it, because even when Judy wants to walk away, we don't let her walk away. There are many things she will, I know, continue to do for the National Partnership, because we never let Judy escape the National Partnership. But I want to say that I will allow Judy to define sort of what her next legacy will be. But what I will say is that part of the reason that people never want to let Judy go is because she continues to be as impactful today as she was when she first started. There is nobody who gives better advice. There is nobody who's a better political strategist. There is nobody who will ask hard questions and really put you to the test to make sure that what you're thinking and coming up with actually makes sense and matters. And so, anyway, with all of that, I want to now introduce to you, welcome, the woman of the hour, the reason we've come to celebrate, and the person we love, honor, and respect. Please help me welcome and give a round of applause to the one and only Judy Lichtman.